Well, the morning call begins right away in Algeria, where President Abdelaziz Bouteflika's decision to seek another term in office has stirred mixed reaction in the country and beyond. The 81-year-old leader announced his intention to seek another fifth term in April's election on Sunday in a message published by state media. On Monday, the Algerian press was abuzz with this news. One newspaper described Bouteflika's decision as risky as Russian roulette, and another welcoming his pledge of reforms. The alien leader's widely expected announcement also had a mixed reception on the streets of the North African country.
As you said, Elaine, the announcement of the incumbent president's candidacy has caused excitement in the North African country and beyond. It is important to know that Algerians have not heard the voice of their head of states for many years. In May 2012, President Abdelaziz Bouteflika made one of his last public appearances in the eastern city of Sétif. Thereafter, he suffered considerably in April 2013, which reduced his motor and locational abilities. As a result, President Bouteflika has had difficulty fulfilling his oath after the April 2014 election. But the last words of the president heard by the Algerians were on October 8, 2014. That day, the state television broadcast a meeting with former Minister Lakhdar Brahimi, where he said, "Rani, I feel much better." All these are elements that explain the reactions of those who opine that Abdelaziz Bouteflika is unable to lead the country for an additional term. Now we're joined online by Massini Nisa, who is closely following this news for Africanews. Hello.
Oui, bonjour.
Good morning. The announcement of President Abdelaziz's candidacy for a fifth term this Sunday is on the front page of Algerian newspapers. How did they handle this? Can you hear me?
Oui, oui. J'attendais la seconde question en anglais.
Like I said, how is the press handling this information?
Alors, l'info a beaucoup été traitée sur.
There are many public media in Algeria and just as many private ones.
Il y a beaucoup de médias publics en Algérie. Il y a aussi beaucoup de médias privés. Il y a à peu près plus de 40.
Each of them went there according to their interest, it must be noted.
Chacun des deux partis y est allé en fonction de ses intérêts, mais il faut le dire, les médias publics n'ont pas le choix.
The public media have no choice. In fact, their support is required, unlike certain private and independent press. The latter was very outraged. The French-language newspaper El Watan, for example, titled it, "Bouteflika wants a fifth term, a scary candidacy," pointing out that the president did not do it through a speech to the nation or a field trip, but simply through a written message broadcast by the official news agency, APS.
Par l'agence de presse officielle, ensuite repris par les médias publics.
Massini says, I'll take this question in English. As anticipated, the opposition have also reacted to this announcement. What do they say about this?
The main opposition parties have constantly warned against the risks of continuity, which for them is synonymous with the status quo. Former Prime Minister Ali Benflis, an opponent and likely candidate in the next election, said in an Algerian media on Sunday, quote, "If there is a fifth mandate, it means that this mandate is not that of President Abdelaziz Bouteflika, but that of the unconstitutional forces which have taken control of the country's affairs, and this is a great danger." End of quote. The Algerian opposition did not idly stand by, it must be said, but all their attempts fell through. In June 2014, 2 months after the re-election of Algerian presidents for a fourth term, it met then in the Mazafran meeting. The opposition had said it wanted to find a solution, a way out of the crisis for the country. 2 old opposition parties have already announced their intention not to participate. These are the Rally for Culture and Democracy and the Social Forces Front. According to the RCD leader, there will be no election, but the appointment of a head of state. You don't boycott or participate in a resignation. Economically, the country is not doing well. Go ahead.
J'allais revenir sur la nécessité pour le pays de procéder à un changement, parce que sur le plan économique, il est à savoir.
It should be noted that economically, the country is not doing well. Moreover, this is what the International Analysis Center Crisis Group reminded us last November. The latter warns that economic reforms are urgent in order to diversify an economy dependent on hydrocarbons and thus avoid an economic crisis as early as 2019. The country was not spared from the fall in oil prices between 2014 and 2017, and public spending in the country is emptying the state coffers, according to the crisis group. The Algerian opposition says it does not have a platform in the public media. What is the situation on the ground?
L'opposition estime ne pas avoir une tribune assez importante dans les médias publics. Qu'en est-il?
Indeed, the Algerian opposition has no access to the public media. It is not as if they could go to the same media to be interviewed and express their opinions. In a recent interview with a private media outlet, Talai El Houriyet party leader Adli Benflis expressed outrage at the fact that opposition parties do not have a hearing from the public media in Algeria. The crisis.
Le leader d'un des partis de l'opposition, qui s'appelle Talai El Houriyet, Ali Benflis, il s'est indigné du fait que les partis de l'opposition n'aient pas d'huile auprès des médias publics en Algérie. La crise en Algérie n'est pas.
The crisis in Algeria is not only political, but it also affects the media, particularly the distribution of so-called biased advertising, which is seen as a card of overriding.
Merci à vous, Massinissa, pour toutes
Massinissa, thank you so much for the detail.
Massinissa Ben Lakhal, correspondant.
Massinissa, African News correspondent, thank you very much.
Au revoir, merci.